A music mogul with a key to New York City, a businessman at the top of several multi-million-dollar brands, a father and mentor to 7 children, Sean P. Diddy Combs was a name synonymous with success, innovation, and wealth. But just like other monsters who've come before him, he was hiding in plain sight. Murder, rape, drugging, bribery, blackmail. These are just a few of the horrific crimes this man has been accused of. And after decades of acting out his perverted desires undisturbed, it looks like he's finally going to be held to account. But why has this taken so long? Why have so few spoken out against him despite it being known what he gets up to? And how many innocent lives have been ruined along the way? There's a very strange habit some rappers have. It's a habit it's often seen amongst serial killers, and it's a hallmark of narcissism and/or psychopathy, leaving behind trophies. For serial killers, this comes in the form of an item or token they keep from a crime scene to feel a sense of ownership or thrill. And for rappers, it comes in the form of referencing their crimes in their music. We've seen artists' own lyrics being used against them in a court of law, and now, given everything Diddy's being charged with, it puts some of his lyrics over the years in a new light. See, we date him like we hate him, see him like we don't need him, treat him like we beat him, and never give up freedom. Inject this dose of the future. Tap them veins, grab hold, let me shoot ya. Mainline this new Diddy heroin. Just remember there's a gun to your dome and I'll lick shots and run through your home. He was telling us who he is, about his obsession with drugs, violence, and power, and it wasn't just through his lyrics.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
No. That was you.
Scrambling.
What? You said, I like when you do it like that, Daddy. When you scrambling and scraping for shit.
You send someone ahead to prepare the hotel room for you.
It's called preparing the sexy. If you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
Even when Diddy predicted his own downfall, we didn't listen.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time.
These parties were where Diddy committed many of his crimes, luring all kinds of men and women into his drug-fueled, sex-crazed lifestyle. Many of today's biggest celebrities are rumored to have attended, from Leonardo DiCaprio to Jay-Z to Ashton Kutcher, but perhaps none were exposed quite as young as Usher. When Usher was 14 years old, he was sent to live with Diddy for a year in his New York residence. This was the idea of record executive L.A. Reid, who saw it as a way for Usher to, quote, see the lifestyle.
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Usher knew from experience that no underage kid should be living with Diddy, which makes it a mystery why he allowed Diddy to get his hands on Justin Bieber. Usher discovered Justin in the late 2000s and was responsible for his rise to fame. He acted as his mentor and guide through the music industry, and Bieber trusted him. However, when Justin was just 15 years old, he was handed off to Diddy unsupervised for 48 hours.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. He signed to Usher. I'm signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Knowing what we know about Diddy now, this sounds beyond creepy. Who knows what he showed Justin during those 2 days? It's clear from the way he spoke here, and in an interview I'm about to show you from a year later, that he was very possessive of him.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, you know, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
Diddy was 41 years old here, guilt-tripping a 16-year-old kid for not keeping in contact with him. It was weird, but it was just the start. As judging from footage we have from years later, it's clear Diddy sunk his teeth into him further.
Oh, he's bad boy now.
Signing the bad boy. Announcement.
Here's your icon alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. It's called Don't Ever Play Yourself. Welcome to the family, John. Bad boy, bad boy, bad boy.
Justin was completely out of it, yet the people around him like Diddy looked fine. From the way he was behaving, it seemed like he was under the influence of a lot more than just alcohol, and if so, you can bet Diddy had something to do with it. In recent times, when looking back at these years of his life, Justin has admitted he was hooked on various different substances, and you can't help but wonder how much of that was due to the company he kept.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
You can tell he's scarred, and we can only hope Diddy didn't get to him like he got to everyone else.
I wanted, Cassie to, everybody to meet Cassie. Y'all know that's Cassie. And hear the story directly from Miles.
Cassie Ventura met Diddy in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37. Being young and naive, she signed to his record label Bad Boy Records for a 10-album deal, which in the music industry is as good as signing your career away. Diddy was responsible for promoting her music and building her career, but his intentions weren't pure. Cassie was young, beautiful, and talented, all things Diddy found extremely attractive, and not long after she signed with him, they got in a romantic relationship. They were together on and off for over a decade, eventually splitting in 2018. And during that time, there were many reports that their relationship was toxic and abusive. Diddy was said to monitor her interactions, restrict her social activities, and even limit her career opportunities, which is supported by the fact that Cassie only released one studio album during her 12 years with Bad Boy Records. Despite all the worrying rumors about their relationship, no wrongdoing was ever proven and it all remained a speculation. That was until November 16th, 2023, when Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy. Mr. Combs raped Miss Ventura in her home after she tried to leave him. He often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. He blew up a man's car, who we know to be Kid Cudi, after he learned he was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. He forced Miss Ventura to engage in acts with male workers while masturbating and filming the encounters, and he introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. These were just some of the chilling allegations made by Cassie in her lawsuits, and she's said to have required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. Of course, Diddy denied any of this ever happened, despite the fact that just a day after Cassie filed the suit, it was settled for an undisclosed sum of money.
Music mogul and his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie, came to an undisclosed agreement last night. Combs' lawyer said today the settlement is in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
At the time, Diddy probably thought that was the end of it, but Cassie's lawsuit opened the floodgates. One after another, women started coming forward with lawsuits of their own. The first was filed anonymously by a woman who claimed Mr. Combs and another man coerced her into sex. Another, filed by Joy Dickinson Neal, accused Diddy of drugging and sexually assaulting her when she was a college student in 1991, as well as filming the attack and showing it to other people. A third woman, Lisa Gardner, filed court papers accusing Combs and another man of raping her and her friend more than 30 years ago, when she was 16 years old. Another woman sued in December, claiming she was sex trafficked and gang raped by Combs, former Bad Boy Records president Harv Pierre, and another man in 2003, when she was 17. The woman alleged she was given copious amounts of drugs and alcohol before the attack, and was left in so much pain that she could barely stand or remember how she got home. The lawsuits all came shortly before the expiration of the New York Adult Survivors Act, which temporarily allowed people who said they'd been sexually assaulted to file claims, even after the statute of limitations had expired. With the pressure piling on, Diddy responded with a statement on Instagram on December 6th, 2023. He said, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, family and for the truth. Diddy was fighting back, but his web of lies would all be exposed in 2024.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
In February 2024, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who produced 9 tracks on Diddy's 2023 album, The Love Album Off the Grid, sued him. You might think this is just another lawsuit to add to the list, but Rodney's case was different from the rest. Lil Rod saw behind the curtain. Allegedly, he spent several months living with Diddy, and during that time, he was required to record him constantly. As a result, Lil Rod allegedly has hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Diddy, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity, from the unlawful use of drugs and firearms to the SA of innocent women and even minors. In the lawsuit, Lil Rod named actor Cuba Gooding Jr. as one of Diddy's guests who sexually harassed and assaulted him, as well as 2 other artists who were redacted from the document but allegedly had relations with underage girls. He recorded an incident in which Diddy and his son shot a man and forced him and others to cover it up. He claimed to be the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping. He also claimed that Combs attempted to groom and coerce him into gay sex. Finally, he claimed he was forced by Combs to solicit sex workers through means of intimidation such as threatening to kill his mother. Now, of course, these sex workers were for Diddy's freak-offs, where many of his alleged crimes were committed. When addressing the freak-offs in his lawsuit, Lil Rod stated that Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended, and that due to this treasure trove of evidence he has in his possession, Mr. Combs believes that he is above the law and is untouchable. The suit goes into much more detail than what can be covered in this video, but what makes it so damning is that Lil Rod provides extensive photo and video evidence, and claims to have corroborating witnesses who are willing to speak out publicly when subpoenaed. Now, when you have this many people alleging similar things about someone, it becomes very difficult to believe they're innocent. But when Homeland Security raids their homes, that's when you know they've done something wrong.
I'm outside Diddy's $40 million pad. It's quiet now, but yesterday, media, SWAT vehicles, dozens of armed officials and investigators descended on the property, seizing boxes of evidence and putting his sons Christian and Justin in handcuffs. They were reportedly detained and released.
The raid took place in March 2024, just 1 month after Lil Rod filed his lawsuit, and law enforcement carried out a simultaneous raid of Diddy's Miami estate. They seized firearms and multiple electronic devices as part of a federal sex trafficking investigation. The dominoes were starting to fall, and just 2 months later, in May 2024, we got the first bit of indisputable evidence about the type of man Sean Diddy Combs really is. CCTV footage emerged of Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura in the hallway of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. He grabbed her and threw her to the ground, then kicked her twice while she laid there. He then dragged her across the floor, seemingly back to their hotel room. Later, he was seen throwing a glass vase in her direction. The footage matched up exactly to allegations Cassie made in her lawsuit, and there she stated that Diddy paid the hotel $50,000 to obtain the security camera footage. After the footage got out, Diddy, who just months earlier vehemently denied any wrongdoing, came out with a pathetic apology video.
I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm truly sorry.
In the months that followed, more lawsuits were filed against Diddy by women alleging similar crimes as those that came before. It felt like only a matter of time before something big happened, and that day came on September 16th, 2024.
Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul.
He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
In an appearance at the US District Court in New York, Diddy was charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Diddy would force his victims to participate in drug-fueled orgies with male prostitutes, which we all know as freak-offs. They were elaborate and meticulously organized. Diddy's associates allegedly booked hotel rooms, recruited sex workers, and distributed drugs to coerce partygoers into sex and keep them obedient. His staff allegedly arranged travel for the victims, as well as a supply of intravenous fluids to help them recover from the parties, which sometimes lasted for days. Prosecutors also alleged that Diddy taped the freak-offs and would use the footage to pressure his victims into silence, just as Lil Rod said. During the raids on Diddy's homes, large quantities of freak-off supplies were found, including 1,000 bottles of baby oil and a variety of narcotics. Despite the mountain of allegations facing him, Diddy pleaded not guilty to the criminal charges on September 17th. He tried everything he could to stay out of jail, proposing a bail offer of $50 million, as well as home detention, surrender of his passport, weekly drug tests, and a visitor log. But even with all of that, the judge still denied him bail. In the judge's view, the government had provided sufficient evidence that Diddy is a danger to the community, as he can and will intimidate witnesses.
Combs, who lived in this $50 million Miami mansion, is now in an isolated unit of a federal jail in Brooklyn known for miserable conditions.
If Diddy is found guilty, he could face up to life in a prison cell just like that. His attorney, though, appears convinced of his innocence.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to this day. He's been looking forward to clearing his name.
On September 24th, a new lawsuit was filed against Diddy by a woman who claimed he and his bodyguard had drugged, bound, and violently raped her in 2001. This marked the 11th lawsuit filed against him, which was already horrifying, but no one could have predicted what would come next. On October 1st, Tony Busby, a Texas-based attorney who's provided legal counsel on many high-profile cases, revealed at a press conference that he's representing 120 accusers who all allege misconduct against Diddy.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. We now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct. This has been going on for a very long time.
He explained that in total, over 3,285 individuals have contacted him and his team, and of the 120 they successfully vetted and are now representing, 50% are women and 50% are male. Almost all the cases have one common theme. Diddy would offer them a drink laced with a tranquilizing substance. Then, after they drank, he would have his way with them. Of the 120 victims represented, 25 of them were minors at the time the crimes occurred.
When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15.
These kids were roped in with promises of becoming a star, but of course it was all a trick. You might wonder why all these victims are only coming forward now, but Busby explained it's for a number of reasons. Some were ridden with shame and embarrassment over what happened to them. Others felt no one would believe them over such a powerful and respected public figure, and many simply feared for their own lives. Even still, over 55% of the victims did report what happened to them either to the police or hospitals, but their cases clearly went nowhere. At this point, I think we all know Diddy wasn't alone in this. Numerous other celebrities have been linked to him and his freak-offs, and many have no doubt committed heinous crimes of their own. Busby explained that in the testimonials of the victims, names were named, and he and his team will work tirelessly to bring them to justice.
The names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
It feels like every other day we discover a new monster who's gone years abusing their fame and riches to prey on the innocent. Each and every one of them feeds off their power and status to fulfill their dark, twisted fantasies. I'd love to say this is the last time this will happen, but that would be a lie. As long as man can find wealth and influence, these things will go on. But slowly and surely, we're letting these savages know that they can only hide for so long, that one by one they will be found, and they will be punished for their crimes. Diddy is going away for a very long time, and any man or woman who helped him perpetrate his crimes deserves to be locked up right there beside him.